So, I'm making a list of favorite organization members right now. This is what I'm taking my chance to do. Uh, it's just a random talking video. There's no clips or anything because I'm terrible at, first of all, I'm terrible at editing it. I don't got clips to edit in. I wish I did. I'd like to record my PS3 in the future, when I get one, of course. But, anyways, I'm going to go over my top 5 screw it. I'm going to do the entire organization 13, including Xion. So this would be my top 14 organization members. Number 1, XIII, obviously. You see my YouTube account, you see my picture of my YouTube account, XIII, my favorite organization member. I don't know why, I just like him. I like his battle, I like his power, I like his berserker mode crap. Pretty cool guy, he had some fairly good scenes too. Now next would be Marluxia. I don't know why I can't put this guy ahead of XIII, but Marluxia is definitely one of my favorites. He is so awesome. He has the best theme. You know, XIII's theme is not exactly original, but it's used for other organization members. But Marluxia's 3 themes are all used for only Marluxia, and they are awesome. Scythe of Petals, I know people say that one's one of the best themes in the series, but I liked it, but it was okay. The other 2 are my favorite ones. You know, the Graceful Assassin, I'd probably be in my top 5 favorite themes in the entire series, and then Lord of the Castle, my number 1. Probably the best theme in the Kingdom Hearts series right there. You know, I didn't play much Chain of Memories. I only beat it one time, officially. You know, I've fought the final battle a bunch of times, but I've only beaten the game once. Not just, you know, Sora, but Riku too. But that's only once, because that's just 2 halves. And then number 3 would probably be Xigbar. Brag. Didn't really care much for this guy to begin with, but after Birth by Sleep, I really love this guy. I've never actually played Birth by Sleep, but I've seen enough of the scenes, enough of the content, that I freaking like Brag now. He is such a troll. I never realized how much of a troll and awesome character he was until Birth by Sleep, seeing his scenes. And then number 4 would probably be Roxas. Roxas was a good character. A lot of people put him at near the top. Usually either him or Axel. Well, Roxas is not exactly my number 1. He is my number 4 though. I like him though. He has a good character, he has a good story, he has a lot more emotions than probably even Sora himself. Pretty good Kingdom Hearts character right there. I just wouldn't put him up in my top few spots. Marluxia was just such a good villain, had such good themes and complete boss battle. And XIII, he rubbed off on me as my number 1 to begin with, and then of course Brag was Birth by Sleep. So Roxas is good, but the other 3 I liked them more. And then Xion would be my number. That would complete my top 5 right there. Is Xion. Good story, tragic character. Not exactly her own character. She was, Sora. You know, spoiler alert. She's Sora's replica that takes after her the strongest memory, Kairi. That's why she is a black-haired Kairi. I don't know why she's black-haired, but it might have something to do with Vanitas. In fact, have you ever noticed when you look at her in her final form, she actually kind of looks reminiscent of Vanitas. If you look past the thing on her face, she actually kind of looks like Vanitas with the chin peaks and stuff. And I just bumped into my mic. So Xion, we tried to character sad themes. Her final boss theme. I call it final boss because I call it the final boss of days, but it was probably not one of my top. I don't know if it'd be my top 5, but it's one of my top themes, definitely, especially for boss battles. And then there's, let's see. After that would be my number 6 would be Axel. I can't put, I want to put Larxene ahead of him, but I can't. Axel had, even in Recom, he had a lot of good scenes, and Days made him even a better character, and then 3D came along, and then BBS, he was also in BBS, so, Birth by Sleep, you know. So, I can't exactly put him ahead of Larxene. Larxene is probably my number 7, easily. Probably the most clear, one of the most clear characters, too. The last of the clear characters, let me rephrase that. I liked Larxene. I don't care that she's a sadistic, certain swear word, but she's just an awesome character. That's the sadistic stuff is really what makes me like her. You know, she's one of the most interesting female characters in the entire Kingdom Hearts series. One of the most interesting girls in the Kingdom Hearts series. Way more interesting than Kairi. Actually, it's kind of funny that Kairi's nobody and replica that is actually Sora but resembles her. It's kind of funny that both those characters, Kairi clones, what you want to call them, are more interesting than Kairi himself. I mean, really, the only character I could probably put below Kyrie is Olette, and that's probably the only reason Kyrie would be in my top 5 girls in the Kingdom Hearts series. I'm not counting Disney or Final Fantasy, obviously. So yeah, moving on from Larxene, it became Kyrie discussion, but let's go to number 8. This is where it gets tricky, because I'm not really sure. I like Exalden, I like Luxord, so I don't know where I'd go with next. I guess Zenmus, because Zenmus is a superior, and originally I didn't care much for this guy, because he was blah. But ever since 3DS, and he's really grown on me, in Days, 3DS, you know, the more story is becoming unveiled, the more he is becoming interesting. And maybe he'll move up the list further one day, just like Brig did. Brig was probably towards the bottom, a couple years ago, a few years ago, he was probably towards my bottom. Now Zenmus is now number 8. I can't really say much about him. His boss battle is fairly good, and Darkness and the Unknown, but I fought through Marluxia. I like his battle a whole lot better than Zenmus. Marluxia is probably my favorite final boss in the series. Recom isn't exactly my favorite game, but Marluxia is one of my favorite bosses. Most entertaining and fun final bosses I've ever fought. And then, number 9. We get tricky. This is Demetrix number. I wouldn't put Demetrix here, though. Still, he's not good enough for that point. So who would be next? I'd say Luxord. It's kind of hard. I'd like to say Exalden, but I can't really make up my mind on those two. I like both of them. Just not, I have to put Zenmus ahead of him because he has grown on me a bit more since, and Luxord is probably my favorite one. I mean, Zalden has his, but in Birth by Sleep, he's still blob, or fairly blob in Birth by Sleep. There really isn't much to him. We don't really get much from him. Even in, the 3DS, I don't think we get much from him. So, yeah, Luxord, Gambler, Fate, Cards, Time, yeah. Better than Exalden. Exalden has some cool attacks, I admit that, but he's probably going to be my number 10. I can't really say much about him. I already kind of went over both of them as much as I know. And then, Luxord was in Port Royal, Exalden was Beast Castle. I like the Port Royal one better. So again, Luxord, Exalden, that's 9 and 10, I think. We move on to 11. So, who would be my 11? Vexen. No, not Vexen. My number 11 would be Xion. His element was more intriguing and stuff, and his battle was kind of different, but I actually kind of liked it. He schemed and stuff, and cloak schemer. I can't really I can't really remember much of his plot, but his death was probably even more eventful than Vexen's. Well, no, Vexen got blown up basically, but it was more instantaneous, I guess. So after Xion, I'd probably put Vexen. I wanted to say Vexen because I was trying to put him ahead of Demetrix, but try to find a reason to put him ahead of Demetrix. But yeah, so Vexen is my number 12, isn't it? So number 13, Demetrix. I do not like Demetrix. I hate this guy. He is one of my least favorite organization members. He is annoying and whiny, and I'm gonna probably rant more on him than the others because he annoys me. I don't like this character. I don't like his dance water dance. And fun fact, I've beaten him. I've not struggled him with like the others, like Zalden or Zigbar. I don't see where people find how people have trouble on him. I just spam fire, reflect, and whatever I need to get those clones out of there, or triangle. I mean, maybe on the data battle, maybe on the other battles, I might have more trouble when there's actually like 40 than 30 seconds. But I always seem to have an easy time getting rid of his water clones. I've noticed his battles a little more interesting. Maybe that's just because it's Final Mix, but in the Final Mix, I seen a battle of him and Larxene was actually half decent, but still doesn't make me like him that much more. Last place would be Lexius. His rock element, he even in Recom, he just didn't seem, he seemed pretty blah. He's probably the only reason I don't, Demetrix isn't last place is because he's the most blah organization member I can really think of. He has Earth element, but he still seems so freaking blah. There's really not much to Zexius that I could like. And that's why he's in last place, because, I can't really explain him that much. I can't even explain the others as well, but at least I found there were certain cool elements. Outside of his Final Mix, which I haven't really played myself, I don't really see much in it. Oh yeah, and he has like power levels and crap. but bleh, he's still blah. Earth element attacks in the final max battle, still blah. Bleh. So that's it. My last two being Demetrix and Lexius. Number one being Syx and Malusha. That's it. That's my organization members right there. Sorry if there's no background or anything to go with this, and maybe one day I'll actually add a background to this. Maybe I'll remake this video with a background and better audio, because this mic probably sucks. See ya.